Welcome to Red Light, Green Light, the podcast where top leaders in science, tech, pharma, finance, and innovation open up and get real. You are in the right place. You're about to hear personal stories from key moments of their career arcs and how they've struggled and succeeded when it comes to moving audiences from the red light of risk to the green light of go. We've got an exceptional invite-only lineup of leaders who've been in the room and at the table when stakes were high, decisions were hard, and their stories had to land. From the virtual room to the boardroom, they share what worked, what didn't, and how they paved a path to green lights by communicating authentically through strategic stories. I want to thank you for joining me today. Let's jump in. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Red Light, Green Light. I am your host, Cindy Skalicky, and every week we bring to you a fantastic, skilled leader in a wide variety of industries to share their stories as they have maneuvered through decades of life, work, audiences, material, you name it. And I'm very excited today to bring a guest I've known for many years, Ron Ben-Joseph, who is the founder of Artful Speaking. Ron, it's great to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Cindy. I'm so excited to be here. You are my hero. As you know, I always tell you, you're like my big sister in this industry. And I'm not big, I mean, you're like my younger sister, let's say.
Yeah. Right.
My
Well,
prettier
I don't know
sister.
about that, but you know. Well, Ron, I think our audience will really enjoy our conversation today because I think about you kind of like a Swiss Army knife of sorts. You have had such a varied and amazing background in music and stage time as a comedian and improv. You and I share several lanes of work we do together, coaching speakers, helping with content. You've produced a number of the videos our audience has seen of On Point and of me, and you have just a huge heart for speaking, presenting.
I directed your show last year. I directed I Am an Alto.
Yeah, absolutely. The show that we did up here in Fort Collins at the Lyric was awesome, and we had an opportunity to share some stories. And the showcasing that you did for other speakers is great too. Tell our audience a quick snippet of your background and how you got into the work that you do now.
Yeah. So I came from a theater background. I always say in a manly way, I know my chair's squeaky. I started off, my goal was to direct rock musicals on Broadway. I was like, I want to direct rock musicals at the highest level. I love music. I love theater. I love storytelling. And uh, I went to a high school where a lot of famous people have come out of. And we had an amazing theater company. And I learned so much stuff, but I was not a natural performer by any stretch. Coaching performance always did come natural to me, regardless of the fact that I didn't know how to act. I remember coaching friends. While I wasn't getting cast, I was coaching them on their auditions or their scenes in class. And it wasn't until my senior year that I kind of like got my stuff together and booked every show that year. And I was like, I never want to go through this again. I was like, I never want to go through the hardship of being in a company and not making it and being like, never getting cast and all that. And then having to change dramatically who I am and to be someone else. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just get it. My plan was I'm going to get a college degree and I don't care where, but I'm going to go get a college degree. And then I'm going to go just hit the theater scene in Chicago. And we're both from Chicago. So.
Yep, totally.
And that's what I did. So the short of it is I interned at a bunch of big theater companies, and I learned two things. I learned that if I just pick up the phone, I can get anyone to talk to me and meet with me. And the second thing was people love talking about themselves, right? It's the number one thing people love to talk about.
That's right.
So if I got them talking about how did you find your voice as an artist? That was my question. I was like, how did you find your voice as a director and all this stuff?
Perfect.
And they would tell me, and and it just kind of coalesced. And all of a sudden, within about 2 years, of graduating high school, so 18, 19, 20, I was
Mhm.
directing my first show and producing. And I was like, this is it. I love this work.
Yeah.
But the more I started working with bigger time, like Broadway people that were booking, like I coached people that were starting to book Broadway shows and all these things and Hollywood movies and stuff. And I was like, oh, I hate these people.
Oh, okay. No,
I
that's
know,
fair.
I know. I'm
No,
like, I
that's
don't
okay.
think anyone was watching, but I'm like,
No, no,
I
no.
hate these people. I'm so effing miserable. I had no stress
Oh,
management skills. That's on me. But
okay.
I loved the coaching. I loved the storytelling. I loved the text work.
Yeah.
Hated the backstage stuff. Hated the fights and the management
The
and
drama.
the
Yeah.
drama.
Sure. Sure.
And so
Interestingly, the drama within the drama department, right? Like there's always a lot. So,
too much,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I just want to do the
Exactly.
work. And here I was like, I'm just trying to make you all feel good. Like I'm just trying
Yeah.
to empower everyone. And I learned very quickly. I had acting teachers that try to cut me off and be I went to a very famous acting school on Broadway in New York, Circle M
Okay.
Square,
Okay.
and their whole thing was breaking you down to build you back up. But I was like,
Mm,
by the time you build me back up, I'm going to be a shell of a person. So
right.
my approach was always empowering, and I could find like the one thing that
Mhm.
worked, and I was like, let's leverage that. Let's really go
Yes.
positive, right?
Yes. Find the
It
strength and grow the strength, and the weakness disappears.
completely disappears.
Right.
I have a story about that too, but I won't waste time.
Yeah.
But
No.
where I was working with a Marine, I was teaching acting, and a
Okay.
former Marine, and I called him out on some stuff. The short of it is I called him out on some stuff for on camera stuff, and he was
Mhm.
like shut down.
Okay.
And I was working with a coach at the time, and she goes, "Don't ever do that again. Just go with what works." And then the following week, I go, "Oh, dude, I love this. I love that." And completely different person showed up,
Right.
and I
Right.
saw in
Yep.
that turning point, and that became the crux of my work. So I
Yes.
went back to graduate school, and I was like, "What's acting for non-actors?" And I had heard public speaking.
Yeah. Fantastic. What is
So,
acting for non-actors? That's
yep.
great. That's great. It is. It's putting on a storyline for your audience. We are entertainers as speakers, no matter how you can argue with me 6 ways to Sunday, but we are. We're tasked to entertain and provide an a pleasing experience to the audience. Whether you're talking about a board presentation, like we still need our audience to enjoy what they're seeing, and there is an element which varies in how loud that element is of entertaining.
Right.
So,
It's
yeah.
education, entertainment, and
Yeah.
enlightenment, right? Like
Yeah.
it's
I like that. Okay.
teaching, like giving. There has to be something of value with every presentation, and then
Sure.
it has to be entertaining. It has to be palpable to watch
Yeah.
and engage with,
Absolutely.
and then enlightening, where you're like, oh, I can make my life better this way.
Yes. Yes. We've got something I can do, an action item that I can take away. Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And
So
I
when
have
you
to tell you, oh,
Yeah, go
sorry,
ahead.
just as you're talking, like, sorry, I have to tell you this. So all of it builds and everything, and I feel like everything built. I started the business. I just fell in love with coaching performances,
Mhm.
and my business has become very niche and all this stuff. We'll talk more about it, but
Yeah.
I have to tell you out of the jump because of what you just said. I was like, and I've
Please.
told you this. I go, it all kind of felt like it peaked this year. I'm a performer, and I started doing more speaking myself
Yeah.
now,
Right.
and I got invited to speak at a very fancy big fancy credit card company, a big
Okay.
financial firm this year. And when I booked it, I called my dad and I was like, dude, I booked this company. And he's like, oh, this is very good. I made the wrong call. The first person I should have called was you
Oh,
because I botched this thing, man. So
oh no.
I botched
Okay.
it. I mean,
Well, we
I'm
were
going
just about to
back.
talk about red light moments and any failure moments
There
that
you
you have. So let's
go.
go.
Here it is. Here it is.
Yeah, what
They
happened?
invited me back. They invited
What
me
was
back.
the
So we're
Okay.
okay. But
Okay,
I'm
good. But
bringing,
what was
yeah,
the miss? Like, what was the miss?
not calling you because,
Why though? Like, well,
yes.
because if you had, what would have happened? Like, what was the lack, the gap?
So I like that. Let's contain it around if I had.
Yeah. Let's
Um,
imagine.
let's imagine if I had. I like that better.
Yeah.
And so something that I've loved being in the front row seat, working with you, and you've been so gracious to work with me and in my style, right? So when we worked on your presentation, I loved
Mhm.
coming in and, like opening you up and getting you like super
Yeah.
organic and conversational, and
Mhm.
you were totally there.
Yeah.
And yet your structure and your directness is unmatched. And
Oh.
here I was in front of a corporate audience which I'm not. My business right now is primarily high-end therapy practice owners,
Yeah.
consulting
Mhm.
firms,
Yep.
things like that, training
Okay.
facility, training
Yep.
companies and stuff. And here I am in front of a corporate audience. The presentation would have killed somewhere else, but I do a lot of crowd work and I engage and I kind of
Mm.
build a presentation. I know what the bones are,
Mm-hmm.
but I build it around the audience interaction. And
Mm-hmm.
one person in the audience goes, "Yeah, but what about when there's this issue?" And I was like, "Oh, I got so excited." I'm like, "I love that issue."
Right.
Like, let's dive right in.
Go.
But my lack of awareness or lack of understanding, lack of experience in the corporate realm was I've just alienated a third of the audience because they don't deal with these people. Like they don't,
Oh,
like this was a specific department.
okay. Okay.
And had I worked with you, I think we would like just your structure is so relatable and so easy to understand. And it's so tight and it's effective beyond belief, right?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
the sticky story, the hook, like the way you get us to have these bones that are like tight and like
Yeah. Right. Logical,
templated,
orderly. Hmm. I'm
right?
wondering in that moment, the first thought that comes to my mind is the some people move. I don't know if I've ever told you what the some people move is, which I teach my clients. So if you're listening, I wonder if that person, when he asked you that question, in order to not alienate the rest of the crowd, um, if you tried the some people move, I think that might help next time. If you say, that's a great question. Some people, blah, 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 this way and that way. Some people do it this way. You're asking this, and the other people in the room are thinking they're over here, and so they're participating in your answer, even though they know you're talking to the guy who asked the question in his category. And that's a great move in any presentation. Like some people in the room know a lot about nanotechnology. Some people know nothing, zero. So I am going to do my best to treat this part of like finding that way so that everybody's like, well, all right, he knows not everybody is the same. And I can still listen and learn something. So yeah, maybe
I love that
yeah,
because
that's
this was an interpersonal communication thing, and
yeah.
it was for it was for people that want to like it was unapologetically you actually was how to present at
Oh,
meetings
oh,
unapologetically you. And
great.
so this woman brought up a conflict that she's had with like certain men on her team. And I
Mm,
primarily work with female executives, female
yes,
leaders
right.
one on one, right? But
Yep.
when I was in a group teaching a course, I was like, "Oh, this is what we talk about all the time." And I was like, right
Yes,
there. But
yes.
other people were like, "We don't have that
Got
problem in
it.
our teams," And
Okay.
s-
Right.
so,
No,
so
that
had I
makes
been like
total
some
sense.
people,
The some people like
it
stepping it
reminds
back.
you to,
Yeah.
yeah.
A quick pause to let you know. If you love audiobooks, I've got good news. My best-selling book, Red Light, Green Light, is now available on Spotify and wherever you get your audiobooks. Now, back to the show. Well, let's turn toward green light
Yeah.
moments, and I want to focus on the topic you just mentioned, which is authentically you. And this is a topic I suspect, are both passionate about, which is helping leaders out there in the ether understand the high risk, like warning, warning, warning of using AI too much around scripting and
Mm.
overly ideating. It's like over mixing muffin batter. Like if you over mix it, you're going to have flat muffins, right? And so that's a big piece of what I've been seeing in corporate environments, other environments, it doesn't matter. But authentically you, I'm like, this is all we have left, people, is what is really, truly you that no one else can duplicate. So tell us how you've been leaning into that authenticity and how you frame it.
Yeah. So that's where um, that's where I live all day long. So my program, so I have two major programs like Unapologetically You,
Mhm.
and then that's the presentations, and then Everyone Wants to Be Sold To is my sales program because
Mm.
there's always a
Oh, okay.
crossover in persuasion and
Totally. Totally.
effective communication. But either one, whether it's for my clients selling a retreat or speaking at a conference,
Mhm.
the notion of authenticity. My first company, my first attempt at having a business coaching company was Authentic Road Productions, which made no sense
Oh,
outside of the word authentic.
right.
road
It's like, is
production.
this a
What?
radio production facility? Like, what is this? Right. Yeah.
Road. It was authentic road. So it's like, is this a
Yes.
driving, a transportation? I don't.
We make
Uh,
authentic roads.
we make authentic, and that was actually the point. I was like, we want your path to be
Right.
authentic and organic.
That's hilarious.
But when I was directing theater and I had low budgets and my friends were all in college and they were working at Northwestern University and Columbia College and all these places where there was resources and there were
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
crews and sets. I didn't have that on my own because like I said, I went on my own when I was 20. I had my first
Yep.
business as a theater company and um, we didn't have the budget. So for me, it was all about, I was like, if I can get an authentic performance, whether it's musical or a play or a movie, if I can get someone to be super organic and
Mm-hmm.
conversational and
Yeah.
not performative,
Yes.
then the audience is going to lean in. And I saw it. I
Yes.
saw it night after night. Again, it
Yes.
didn't matter if it was, I did Hair, the musical Hair
Yeah.
in a small theater company or a small
Okay.
theater, very intimate, no sets, just like boxes. We had boxes that they moved around. But the audience, we sold out 798 shows. People were like
Wow.
engaged. And then I
So
did
wait,
plays where, yeah,
hold on. How do you teach someone to be unapologetically themselves? Because you're saying this as if anybody can do this, and it's not true. So how do you get people to open up and fill all the seats because it's that good?
yeah, great question. I would say, so what I do is I just have a conversation with them and I go, like when I'm working with presenters and speakers, we'll
Sure.
just talk and I always, I was mentioned about me. I'll be like, here's the thing about being single at almost 70. I'm 46.
Stop.
Here's a, like, and then, they'll get into their expertise. Once they get into their expertise and they're doing what they do one-on-one with their clients, then I go, whoa, 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 right there. See, that's it right there.
You have done
That,
that to me before.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
You
Because,
get them
yeah,
talking about themselves. And with me, I think one of your gifts is just letting people go, like just talk. And I remember specifically hitting on the idea that became the core of our of my talk, right? The I
I'm an
said,
alto.
I am an alto. Um, which is at my YouTube. If anybody wants to go watch it, it's a really fun story. But yeah, it was really due to the fact that you just opened up a space, asked me a couple of light flyer questions, and you were like, tell me more about that. And, I just went and kept going, and there came the idea. It's kind of like free writing, which is so powerful, but like free speaking instead of writing.
And I
I've
sit
had,
there and I'm taking
yeah,
copious notes, extracting.
totally.
Like, that's it. What if that's it? Yeah.
Yeah, what if we do something with that? What if we play around with that? I've had a coach who asks us to sit down and for those of you in the audience listening who run like meetings with your teams and stuff, this is a really powerful way to get people talking. I do like a write it, read it exercise where I give people 2, 3 minutes of absolute quiet. And I say, don't put the pen down. You can't put the pen down. Just keep writing. It's better if you have pen and paper. If you have to type, go ahead. But things come out of our subconscious and our brains that we didn't know were there. And that's what you give people the space to do.
Well, if I can use you as an example, like a great
Sure.
example, we had a rehearsal once in Loveland,
Yes.
right on a stage,
Yes.
and what we found for you was like an example of how to go from, because you're so strong, you're so smart, you have so much information that you want to send out there. And
Right.
so I think what at that point I remember seeing you were like, you weren't stiff by any stretch, you were just really sharp, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what wasn't coming out for me was like, well, what was coming out was the directness and the, I'm here to do a job, I'm going to teach you. What I wanted to see was how, you and I, we were sending messages to each other of each other singing, right? We were like, everything
Oh,
is
that's right.
great.
Yes. Yes.
See what you just did there? Oh, that's
Yes.
right. Like you came to life and your
Yeah.
warmth just shone, right?
Yeah.
So I go, that's it. So I want that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's what we did. And we created that warmth and that connectivity, even in a room where there's no one else.
Right.
You were embodied. I remember you were clear about who you were talking to and you picked one person in the audience to talk
Yeah.
to. And we acted like they were there and you just totally
Yeah.
transformed. It was
Right.
I have pictures of it. I have
It's
pictures of
good.
it.
It was great. I mean, we
Yeah.
all need people around us who help us see the things we can't see ourselves. And, you provide that for many people in your orbit have provided that for me. How about you, Ron? Who's helped you get where, like, to your new levels? Like, who sticks out in your mind as a
Oh,
mentor or coach, or who's helped you?
oh my God, so many people, and I feel bad forgetting, or like if I forget 'em.
Yeah.
But
No.
for me, I have three major contributors. My I have to give credit to my ex-wife, my co-parent. I always give
Mhm.
her credit.
Yep.
She's the one that really got me into having a business.
Nice.
And and we're really good friends. That she just for the past, she's a web designer and now she's a product manager.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so she was the one that was instrumental in getting me to that first level of being full time, and she did so much work for me and just helped me out immensely. And I paid her
Yeah.
back. Like I did, I
No,
got her
no, yeah.
clients, and
Yeah.
it was even. I think it was a little bit more on my end. Just kidding. She'd be like, "What are you talking about?" And then the first big break for me in the incarnation of Artful Speaking as it is now was Megan Cantor from the Dames.
Yes,
So
for sure.
I always say she kind of like discovered me,
Yeah.
and we met in 2018. And I remember we met, and she's an amazing networker, and that's why
Yeah.
she has this incredible women's organization, high
The
achieving
dames.
female entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And we met, and I didn't sell her on the first date, like
Hmm.
on the first meeting, I didn't sell her. So I was like, okay, well, this is done. And she goes, no, no. She goes, I want to talk to you in a few more months. And I was like, why? In my head, I'm like, why? I told her the story. So I put on my calendar to follow up with her, and I followed up with her. And we like got really close, and we started working together. And then she brought me into her, like, to support her in
Yeah.
her presentations for her community. And then during COVID, it just exploded, and that I was
Yeah.
full time with
Yes.
members of the community.
Yes.
And so she was the first one that kind of took a chance on me in this information. And then recently, my friend Gabrielle Giuliano Villani, who is she's my gateway, and she was my gateway into the therapy world. So I
Okay.
knew
Great.
she's a therapist. She sold a seven-figure. She's like 35. She's like, no,
Mm.
she's 39 now.
Wow.
Sold a seven-figure practice at 35, and
Hey,
uh,
30 anything is great.
30.
Like,
I know. She has like
yeah.
a gorgeous house in Florida. Her and her husband like live the
Oh,
best life. Like, and she
amazing.
travels all over the world, like doing these amazing workshops and
Yeah.
retreats. So she
Yeah.
was a client, and then she referred the hell out of me, which was
Yeah.
awesome. And then we
Amazing.
started doing workshops and things together. And so again, just having her stamp of approval,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
again, kind of put
For
me on
sure.
the
It
face with
can
on the mark with the
totally
therapists. And
carry you forward. Yeah.
yeah, so
That's
that was the turning
fantastic.
point.
What a great, like, triptych of people that
Yeah,
have carried you into the journey that you're on. Um,
Quick station break, listeners. If your team is ready to level up its strategic storytelling, I would love to meet you and hear your story. Shoot me a connection request at LinkedIn or via email, and we'll set up time to chat. Now, back to the show.
Ron, tell us, with the few minutes that we have left, a
yeah,
little about how people who come your way, like, what are you helping them with, these advanced, like, or established therapy practices? And I mean, I can
yeah.
think of a whole bunch of things I'm guessing that they need. So what are you primarily providing for them, and who should reach out to you when they hear this?
Yeah. So for anyone just in general, I think like in general, if I primarily work with female executives and
Mm-hmm.
female managers and women that I always say they've been told they're too much or not enough and have been
Okay.
mansplained to no end. And they want to tap into their voice, and they know
Mm-hmm.
they belong on a bigger stage, whether that be in management, in higher positions. They want to expand. They want to like own their space
Yeah.
unapologetically themselves, right? So
Love
one
it.
on one, I work with these women all day long. And if someone's interested in that, then I would say text Cindy, and then we do it through on point communication,
All right. Well, share the love. Yes.
share the love,
Right.
And so that's effort. But in terms of the therapists, I work with them. It runs the gamut, and I love it. So I have clients that are with me for executive coaching at this point.
Hmm.
They've been with me
Okay.
for almost a year, and
Awesome.
that's my retainer clients. I
Yeah.
have a bunch of these every week, and it's executive coaching, flat out vision, working through blocks, and just working on voice. So much,
Hmm.
because so much of the work I've been doing over the last 10 years, 20 years is about removing the blocks and all the mindset stuff stops from
Hmm.
projecting, which I've
Yep.
gone through as a performer. I've gone through as a
Sure. Sure.
dad. I've gone,
Sure.
it's all the stuff that makes you show up bigger, perform
Yep.
at a higher level.
Yep.
That's all stuff that I've extracted and I would do in that capacity. So
Yep.
executive coaching, retainer clients, heaven for me. And then, but the way that people find me is first and foremost, they have a retreat, they have a conference that they have to speak at, they
Okay.
have a trade show, they have an event,
Sure.
or they want to just share more in their communities.
Mm-hmm.
They're established with their 7-figure practices in their communities, or even high to 6-figure practices, and they want to just share more. They've been invited to speak at a high school. So we create the content,
Yep.
and or at other levels, we sell the content. So either they're doing public speaking trainings or videos. So a lot of people do, they want to do their real, they want to educate online like that, or they have media training, they're on podcasts, and or they're selling their retreat. So we have a whole sales program everyone wants to be sold to,
Amazing.
where I coach
I think that's
consultants,
great.
therapists.
Everyone wants to be sold to. It's very psychologically alarming. It's like unapologetically you, great naming, right? Like unapologetically you. Well, what are we, it makes you think. And then everybody wants to be sold to is another great, like, what's this guy about? So I love it.
Because people always say nobody wants to be sold to, and I'm like,
but that's
my
not
people.
true. Just have
I've
to
had
do it
people.
well.
I've had people go on LinkedIn and say, and this is not bragging. This is, you can find this. I've had people go on LinkedIn after meeting with me and go, "Oh my God, I just got sold to by Ron Ben Joseph. It was the coolest thing."
Yeah. Like he's got something figured out there. See, I told you, like Swiss Army knife going on over there. So,
But
well,
it's
Ron,
all communication based,
Yeah,
it's
it
a
is.
communication Swiss
Yeah.
Army.
No, I think you are an asset to so many and all of the women and men who you've helped. And I know because we're both in this business that the content creation piece of things is a unique skill set. And so, we both do that in our own ways. And that is just incredibly valuable. And the downbeat for the episode, I think, is just to remind everybody that no one can go through like an AI prompt and pull out something that is unapologetically you or authentically you, because it doesn't know you, your audience, the nuance, the context, and you need either a Ron or a Cindy or a deep dive with yourself if you enjoy crafting content. Um, you know, you have to put your stamp on that, right? And be that sticky storyteller who can come alive in front of audiences. So, Ben, this has been awesome. Thank you for coming in and having a few minutes here with me today to share about what you've been up to lately in your journey. Any final words of like advice for a scared person? Couple words. What should a person who's like stage fright all the way? What's your first
Hire
thought?
Cindy. Hire Cindy.
No, that's not what I was going for.
That's what I'm going for.
Find your strengths and amplify, right? That's what I think would be.
Sure. Yeah. Yes. But I go, I'm living proof now. If I ever had any imposter syndrome or doubt about the validity of hiring or the importance of hiring a public speaking coach, a communication skills coach, I'm like, no, dude, I should have called you right then and there, because there are these moments. I know. You have been so excited. I know.
Silly. I know. Right. Exactly. Well, all right. We'll end on that unexpected note. And thanks, Ron. You're such a pleasure to be with and always fun. I always love talking with you and finishing conversations with you. You make my day better every time I talk to you.
I'm always like, does she think I'm a freak? Because we're so different, but I love you so much,
I know. You're so great. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining Red Light, Green Light today. We will be back again next week with another incredible leader sharing stories, strategic stories about their line of business and industry. Until then, get out there, go find yourselves an audience you need to get from the red light of risk to the green light of go, and get out there and nail it. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.